Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 339. The title of today's lesson is The Difference Between Abroad and Overseas. Okay, let's take a look at the note here. When looking at definitions, or when looking at definitions alone, both words appear to have the same meaning. So that's why this comes up a lot, that students may ask, what's the difference between the two? Okay, let's continue. They both can mean in or to a foreign country. So it can mean that something is happening in that country or while traveling or going to the foreign country. So they both can have that meaning too. So here is where the similarities are almost exactly the same. Okay, let's continue. Both words can also be used as adverbs and adjectives. Okay. All right. Now here is where we're going to finally get into the differences. However, overseas does imply, it does suggest, it does imply crossing an ocean. So if two or more countries are attached and can be crossed on land, you should really be using abroad and not overseas. So let's take a look at this first example here. Again, with the X, this would be wrong. So if you're saying, I am traveling overseas to Mexico next week, and you're coming from the US, then this would be wrong. You should be saying, I am traveling abroad to Mexico next week. Yeah. Same thing would be, of course, like in Europe. Let's say you were in France and you were going to Spain. You should be saying that you're traveling abroad to Spain, not that you're not traveling overseas, because you don't have to cross any oceans. You can just go directly by either train or drive, by road, whatever. So you should not be using overseas in that sense. All right, good. Let's continue. Here's another key difference, though. When used as adjectives, abroad is always used after the word it describes, and overseas is always used before the noun. So that's a good thing to note. So let's just take a look at one example here. We are trying to break into overseas markets. Okay. So, to break into this, like a company, maybe they want to, start selling in that new market. Maybe they want to get into the Japanese market. They're trying to break into it so they can get some share of the market. So we are trying to break into overseas markets, so just in general. So here, of course, it's overseas. You use it before the noun that you're modifying. And of course, if you, reverse the sentence to use abroad, you'd say, we are trying to break into markets abroad. So abroad, of course, would be used after the noun. Okay. Anyway, those are the two main key differences. Anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it's clear. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.